the samurai of ancient Japan, Zen was their philosophical underpinning. And I think that the samurai values and principles apply to Silicon Valley. And I want to have, maybe we can't have sword play, but maybe we can have some word play today.
Oh, okay.
Samurai were indifferent to life and death. They were indifferent to life and death, just embraced risk. And I think that a startup, just by its very existence, is taking risk.
Well, now I think that is very interesting, because I feel that you have to be at that point where you're willing to die.
Yes.
In order to really live. The idea that an entrepreneur goes through is they're willing to lose the job or lose their social status or lose money. When they go after that mission, they can actually come away with a much broader, deeper, more wonderful life, whether they succeed or fail. But it's the willingness to fail that ends up making them great.
Just that total freedom from the constraints of life and death, not hanging on to anything, no regrets, just fearlessness. And
that fearlessness is a great way to actually approach your life. With sort of wild abandon.
Wild abandon. We love that here. I mean, we see it everywhere in the office. Another great concept, loyalty. The samurai loyal. What do you think about loyalty in Silicon Valley? To the network, to, you know...
I have a very tough line in the Risk Master, and it's had to lay off my best friend.
Best friend, right.
And that's a very tough concept, because someone who's starting a business is fiercely loyal to the people around him or her, because they have bought off on this vision, and they're all moving in the same direction.
Discipline and asceticism. This is something very important to the samurai.
The discipline is probably the toughest thing for an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur is, by his or her nature, somewhat undisciplined in their thinking, because if they were purely disciplined, they might just go the corporate route. But what happens is, if they are disciplined, they become more and more successful. And now that discipline has to be connected with flexibility, because if they're on a too strict a routine, then they don't get a chance to veer off, and they miss something that comes around from the side. Just get the job done, go for it. Everything that you throw yourself into it in every way you can.
Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Give us some tips for how to simplify something that's really complex.
I think what you want to do is you want to think about what it will do for the world. I think if you do that, if you just say, what will this do for the world? And bring it just to that essence, to use your word, I think it will really help you focus your mind on what it is you're doing. To get a very simple idea, sometimes you have to go through the complexity, and sometimes you have to experiment and make a lot of mistakes, and then something happens, like, you know, penicillin comes from moldy bread, or the Reese's peanut butter cup comes from the guy with the peanut butter running into the guy with the chocolate.
What a collision. Samurai, if they failed to meet their obligations to their master, Tim, would perform harakiri and ritual suicide. Do you think this is something that Silicon Valley executives should take up?
At Draper Fisher Jurgensen, we don't require that.
That's good to know.
The way I look at it is, someone risks, you know, I invested money, someone took a big risk with that money and with their life and their career, and they went and did something extraordinary, or they tried to do something extraordinary. And if they fail, and I'm fine. With entrepreneurs, sometimes it's the third time's a charm.
Yeah, that's all part of it.
And so we always want to keep in touch with these people, because they may have failed the first time, but then the next time they think, well, there is this other way we can go about.
Just tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, and then I'll be off to the races. So I think we can avoid the, you know, the hara-kiri.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me put a lot of my viewers at ease.
The trunk is various items that come to us from all over the world It's your birthday, you take anything you would like out of the trunk. And some people spend hours going through our trunk.
You know, so I'm sure there's some people that have attempted to lift the whole trunk. And
Oh
try
no,
to
they
carry
have.
it.
Nobody's done that yet.
No,
but that
okay.
would be that'd be an interesting test. What would we see in that person if that were the case?
Well, you'd see just how greedy they were, perhaps.
Or how ambitious.
And
I actually don't drink, but this was Josh Stein, my partner, gave this to me, and he said, "Well, you were on the Midas list, and so I needed to give you some gold." And this was Goldwasser liqueur. Anyway, I thought that was very thoughtful.
we know that's not fool's gold. Definitely not.
Right, I think that's real. Oh, here's Arnold. You know, our friend Arnold, and the mayor of New York. This was one of my great failures. We took VC Draper Fisher Jurvetson public, which was a kind of a breakthrough, new kind of venture capital, so that the entire public could participate in venture capital. And this is where it went public on the New York Stock Exchange. But then it was a great failure, and it's always good to keep a couple of those out here with all the other stuff. A little reminder.
Yeah, well, you can't.
Samurais do go down.
You can't separate the black ink from the white space, and the darkness and the lightness. They're intimately intertwined in the brushstrokes. So that's all part of the beauty of the painting, the metaphorical painting. And you've talked about paintings before. I've heard you talk about. You've said
none of my paintings are here. Oh yeah, we have one in the bathroom. We could take you into the men's bathroom. There's one of a sheep that I did.
Special assignment, behind the scenes. Well,
you are clearly the best interviewer on the earth. And you should do this everywhere you go. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
She is the best interview I've ever had.